On this 12th Sunday of Ordinary Time, in our readings today, we are given an opportunity to consider one of the great obstacles to our friendship with God, to our following and becoming closer to God, and that is fear. Both the first reading from the prophet Jeremiah and from our gospel today, we are called to confront our fear. In some ways, fear is a very natural human reaction to things. It's ingrained in us as a sort of defense mechanism. It's good that we're afraid of some things, like dangerous animals or fire or heights, things that can physically harm us. But as built in as fear is as a defense mechanism, it can also very, very easily lead to something more, which in many ways can hold us back from what it is that God is calling us to do. When fear grows and gives way to anxiety, and gives way to ways in which we are sort of paralyzed where we are and not moving forward because of these fears that we hold so deeply. Thinking of the fear of rejection, for example, the fear of being seen as different, the fear of being seen as weird or being judged. This is often what holds us back from evangelizing, from speaking the truth about our faith and sharing about our faith and sharing about our church. That fear of rejection is so deep that it can hold us back from that. And then, of course, there is the fear of the loss of our comforts, which so often holds us back from the full generosity that we are called towards. What if I don't have enough? What if things aren't always the way they are? So I'm going to keep things for myself because I'm afraid that if I'm too generous with what I have, I will lose too much, and I'll lose these comforts. There's the fear for our safety, the fear that says we should not go out into the world, not go out to do the things that we are called to do, to serve those in need, because at times that could even be dangerous. Whatever the fear is, these anxieties that we have, and for all of us at points in our life, there are different types. The fear of being alone, the fear of losing those we love, the fear of all the things of this world that so often can consume so much of our attention. And what do we do? What do these readings give us in the face of all of this? First, look at Jeremiah, who acknowledges it. There is terror all around us. So much it seems to be afraid of. And Jeremiah, to put this in context, was writing right before the Babylonian conquest of Israel. They were about to be conquered by a foreign power. The temple was about to be destroyed, the most important part of their faith at that time. Their leaders were going to be taken into exile. And he saw this coming, and he acknowledged it. Your whole world is going to come crashing down. And yet, do not be afraid. As he says, I am not afraid. I have God as my champion. God is with me. Nothing in this world can take away from you the one thing that truly matters, no matter what happens out there, no matter how frightening it gets. Do not be afraid. Then, of course, in the gospel, we hear that same message as Jesus says to his followers, fear no one, even those who can take away your life. Be not afraid. Fear only the one who can take away your soul, who can pull you away from God. Remember, this was the message, for those who can remember, of St. John Paul II. Pope John Paul II, when he was elected in 1978, his first homily was on the message of do not be afraid, and that was consistent through his entire long papacy. And here was a man that grew up in the worst part of Nazi-occupied Poland and Soviet-occupied Poland, and then a man in his old age who was given the diagnosis of Parkinson's that would slowly take away his mobility, his physical independence. And yet constantly his message was do not be afraid. Nothing in this life should cause you anxiety and fear except for the fear of loss of your friendship with God. That's the only thing that we should truly be afraid of, to lose that relationship here in this life, and especially to be separated from Him in the next. But to avoid that, all we need to do is accept the invitation that He's given us, to boldly go where He leads us, to not be afraid, and to go out into this world and to allow Him to work through us. Because come what may, if we have that, nothing else can stand in our way. Nothing should hold us back from our evangelization. Nothing should hold us back from giving of our time, our treasure, our talent to enrich the body of Christ here on earth. And if we look to the example of the martyrs, even death itself does not hold us back, as they stood boldly in the face of persecution and their own lives being handed over without fear, with nothing but joy, because they knew they had the one thing that truly mattered, the one thing which conquers fear, the one thing which conquers anxiety, and that is the relationship with the one who made us. So on this Sunday, I encourage all of us to consider, what is it that is holding me back? What fears do I hold deep within myself? And how can I give those over to God, to trust in His providence and to be not afraid? Because from there, once that weight is lifted, it is amazing what we can do. Our fear is always overcome by our hope, and we grow in that each and every day in our faith.